Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Command Block Basics. My name is Quick Kruger and today I have an assistant, or really it's just another character, joining in to help me show you some of the basics of the Scoreboard command. This character is my wife's account. She is not available right now to play it, so I am just using it as kind of a model for how certain commands affect the character. And so we're going to start off right now with the Scoreboard command, just the basics of the objective command. And what you can do is with this you can add a type of objective, and it's stored in this variable or a placeholder that holds the number. And then you can set the objective type. In the case of Bedrock Edition, only the dummy command exists currently, which means it just holds the number. And then the text that will represent the objective on the scoreboard, whichever way you decide to represent it through the user interface. So if we real quick, we're going to add rings, we're going to add Chaos Emeralds, and we're going to add Chow. Okay, so we've added these three objectives, or things to be tracked, onto our scoreboard, but you don't see anything yet. And that would be because the visual aspect of the scoreboard is controlled by commands as well. And so if we, this is where the other account, MLMNE, will come in. So we're gonna have her come over here, and we're going to see how these commands affect her. So if we have her click this button, it sets the number of rings for MLMNE to 0, which initializes the score for her. And if we go over here, we can then set a visual representation of the number of rings. In this case, it uses the below name setting in this command that sets the display of the objective as below name, and the objective being used is rings. And then like we did, we had the text. Now there are two other types of scoreboard items, or scoreboard UI, and we'll show you that really quick. So if I have MLMNE click the Chaos Emeralds to initialize the value, and then click here. This set it in the list, or in other words, the player list that you can find when you pause the game. And you can see Chaos Emeralds, MLMNE is in first place with 0, and I have not been initialized, so I am not in that list. I'm just down here. And lastly, we'll see how it changes when she clicks the next two buttons. So click this one. It sets the initial value for Chow to 0 again. And then if you click this, this is the sidebar. And real quick, let me show you the command for having it display in the list when you pause the game. You use the word list instead of the word under name. So it's scoreboard objective set display list Chaos Emeralds. And for this next one, it's scoreboard objective set display sidebar, and that brings it up on that sidebar to the right on the right of the screen. That's the basics of the scoreboard. You can make more complicated things using those basic commands. What I'm going to do, I'm going to cut to the next segment of this video where I have an example for how to make these work. Alright, for this first example, we're going to keep on the theme of rings, and what's going to happen is MLMNE here has some gold nuggets, and she is going to throw them on she's going to throw them onto this gold pedestal, and the gold nuggets represent rings. And as she throws them down, there's one, Now how about we throw down 4? And so it added 4. Okay, how about let's try dropping full stack. Give me a moment. I'm doing this on Switch, controlling M11E on the Switch, so it might take a second. Okay, so that should hopefully add 64 to that initial 5. And we're getting there. It should end at 69. Nice. But is it nice? Yep. And so you can essentially keep track of each individual player's currency in this example underneath their name. And yeah, maybe it could be used for a reputation system. Maybe it could be used just like that for currency. However, that's the way to do it, and I'll show you the way I have it set up. Okay. So what I have going on here is there's a hopper system that this hopper minecart will pick up anything placed on the block above it, and we'll put them through one at a time to here, which will put them through one at a time to here, and then it'll go into that chest. I have 2 hoppers just to make sure it goes through quickly, because I'm not super familiar with the hopper mechanics, so I don't know if it's actually faster or not, but I do know I was just being cautious. Perhaps you don't need that many hoppers. And then here's a comparator that checks if there are any gold nuggets still in this hopper. And then if there are any, then a redstone signal goes and pushes this piston, which pushes this observer up in front of this other observer, which works as a redstone clock, and it sends a tick through here. And it'll only do it for as many gold nuggets come through. And you heard it going up and down and up and down and up and down, and that's because only one gold nugget is in here at a time, which means every so often it has none in it, or every tick it has nothing in it, which sends this back down, which isn't horrible. It's very loud though. You can, with commands, turn off the sounds from certain blocks. I don't exactly remember how to. I remember I did do that when I was messing around with command blocks, and I was making a particle effect that was linked to a minecart, but I didn't want anyone to hear the minecart rolling around on tracks, so I just used the command that would silence that, and I can't remember off the top of my head what that command is. Anyway, so that's the redstone setup I have down here. The command I'm using, which I haven't covered yet, is scoreboard players add, followed by the name of the person you want to add to, which I did put the specific name in this case because I didn't, plan this out well ahead of time. You normally want the command block as close to where the player inciting the command is, so that you can just do at closest player. Alternatively, you can put in conditionals that will have it just check who the player is in that exact coordinate. That works as well. That's probably what I should have done, but I didn't think of it at the moment, so I just put in the player name. However, it works perfectly for this scenario. Alright, example 2. Let's assume you want to start a Chow garden like in Sonic Adventure 2. In my case, I don't have Chow, so I'm gonna have some wolves. So as you can see, each time I place a wolf, it gets counted. And yeah, so it says 14, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It looks like I actually have 16. So not 100% accurate. But as you can see, if you place the wolves at a fairly normal rate, or more specifically, if I wanted an enclosed area to count the number of chow or something like that in it, that you had to like lasso and lure into the area or something, whatever, then you would not be getting them as quickly as you can place a spawn egg. And so it would be pretty accurate. And this is another thing that the scoreboard can be used for, counting entities in an area. So this will get rid of all the wolves so that we're not dealing with all the barking. Let's reset this while we're at it. So what I have going on is I have to use the test for command, which we're not going to cover thoroughly in this video, but I have the test for command testing for entities of type wolf. And then as long, and it's any wolf that does not already have a tag on it called counted, and it'll pick only one wolf at a time. Okay. And then if we go over here, it will then, with a delay of 5, add 1 chow to my chow counter. In this case, chow are wolves. So, so scoreboard players add to me, in this case, though what you could do is you could have, if you're trying to have like a set area, like this, that you're counting the number of wolves in and assigning that to a specific player, what you could do is just have a tag added to the area. So have this area associated with a tag. So instead of counted, it could be like plot 1. And then you could have a command block here next to plot 1 that you can click, and it'll assign plot 1 to you. It'll give you the tag plot 1 as well. And so then anytime a wolf is placed in here, instead of being score being added to Quick Kruger, it would be, I'll just type it in real quick so that you can see what the command would be. You'd want to look amongst all players, and then you'd want tag equals plot 1, and that would make it so only the person who is registered as the owner of plot 1 would be able to get points for the wolves or chow that show up in that plot. And you could, instead of checking the entire world for wolves that haven't been counted or that haven't been given the tag plot 1 in this case, you could also set a min and a max. I don't remember the min and max specifiers, but it'd be like min is equal to whatever the min coordinates is, the min x, y, and z. You'd have to set them all individually. So min x is equal to whatever that coordinate is, and then min y is equal to whatever that coordinate is, and so on and so forth. Once again, I don't remember if exactly what that specifier is, and I'll cover that in a different video. I'll cover specifiers in general in a different video. But yeah, you could do that, so it would test in this small area only for wolves, and then it would add the tag associated with this small area for the wolves, to the wolves, which would make it so that they're marked as owned by you. And then at the same time as they're being counted up, they're also being given the tag counted, or if I was trying to be more specific, plot 1. And since this only tests for wolves that have not been counted yet, that don't have an owner essentially, then it will no longer count whichever wolf that tag is added to. And it only does it 1 wolf at a time as well, so that way it's matched up time-wise with this. And with this one, once again I put a 5 tick delay because I'll show you what happens if there's no delay. And oh right, I changed it. Let's change this to me again. Okay. Now, is it not testing wolves at all? Oh, there we go. So we went up 5. It went up 5 digits because of the length of the signal. It's longer than 1 tick. It's like, I don't know exactly how long it is, but I guess it's longer than 1 tick because, yeah, this guy starts to run into issues. It might in fact be better to even do like 10 ticks, so that way it's slower to count. So if you look, it takes a second, there's a little delay, but I imagine it would help with this a little bit. Yeah, so it looks like it's still off if you do it rapidly. However, once again, that should not be an issue if this is like some sort of mini game where you're trying to collect animals, or if it's just an indicator for how many like an adventure map and you need to collect, I don't know, a certain number of wolves, like return wolves to their pack or something. I don't know. And it would be a much slower going process than rapidly spawning them with spawn eggs. So you wouldn't really need to worry about accuracy at a fast level. And so this could stay turned down to 5 and be a little bit more visually appealing to have it tick up like basically right after the wolf shows up in the area. Okay. Once again, I'm gonna clear out all these wolves, and we can. The only other command that would be useful would be the remove command. We've been using the add command. The remove command is just the opposite of the add command. So if we look here, it says add to, character or to the player a certain number of rings. You can just replace the word add with the word remove, and it will remove that instead. So for the instance of this, maybe you have some sort of shop, server shop that you can press buttons on, and each button is linked to an item you can get. I'm just imagining it right now, but let's go here. Each button is linked to like some item you can get, and if you press it, you get the item, but it also removes that number of rings, in this instance, that number of currency from your inventory. So that's when you'd use the remove command. Yes, so that should be all for this video. I can go into more depth for different uses of this command, like specific uses if you'd like, but these are the basics. This video is a little bit longer than I'd like it to be. I want to try to keep videos 10 minutes or below so that they're digestible. This one might be a little bit over depending on how I edit it. But yeah, so thank you all for watching, and join me next time when we talk about specifiers for commands and how they work, what they can do, and how they can make your life a little bit easier when making anything with command blocks. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.